Hi, I'm Brian Crombie, and we're going to be talking on The Brian Crombie Show. We're going to be talking about politics, arts, business, and social issues on The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to The Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. It's a real pleasure of mine tonight to introduce you to Klaudia Zinaty. She is a fascinating person because she's a long-term fashion industry expert. She's very involved in media and public relations as well, and she's just launching something called the Women's Empowerment Program, and so we're going to talk about all that. Let me tell you a little bit about Klaudia, if I could. She's got 15 years of experience in media and marketing industry, including print, television, events, digital, and social media. Her background includes 7 years at Flair, Lulu, and Hello magazines, and a Gold Award-winning recipient of the Media Innovations Award. Prior to Flair, Klaudia worked in broadcast at Chum and in sports and entertainment with NBA Canada. And we had a prior conversation where we talked about the NHL versus the NBA, which was kind of fun. Yeah. She, for the last couple of years, has been very involved in Fashion Group International, and I interviewed her previously about her, what was it, 400 shoes that you had in your closet?
427.
427 shoes in your closet,
yes,
which was kind of interesting. And what she was doing for the fashion industry, particularly the challenges that the fashion industry was focused on during COVID-19. And she's now the president and co-founder of the Women's Empowerment Awards, a platform to recognize and celebrate the diverse achievement of women in Canada. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in a couple of minutes. Finally, Klaudia is professor in fashion, marketing, media, business, and public relations, and an entrepreneur and a marketing consultant. She's a published fashion editor and stylist and has been covered in many different magazines. Wow, you've done everything. Well, so how does one go from broadcast to fashion to women's empowerment? Tell me about the connection
journey
between them and the journey.
You know what? It's just an opportunity. Like for me, it's when an opportunity comes and it's a really unique opportunity and something I've never experienced before. That's something that I'm always willing to try. So I always say it doesn't really matter about what sector you're in. It's the knowledge, it's the experience, it's the skill set that you bring from one to another. So when I started out at the NBA, it was an amazing experience. Never played basketball a day in my life. Didn't know much about the NBA, but I had the skill set, the experience, the background for the job, and it was an amazing 9 years. And then from there I went into broadcasting and again learned so much about the TV world, and then went into publishing with print. So I'm always willing to learn. I love learning new things, and that's really part of the journey. So being able to go from one to another, and now with everything that I've learned so far and the experiences that I've had, to be able to build something like the Women Empowerment Award, which really is, like you were mentioning, a platform that just really recognizes all the achievements of incredible women across many different sectors. I think it's a great opportunity to be able to do that. So it's leveraging all of that experience up until this point.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit, you also do teaching at a couple different colleges?
I do.
In media, public relations, etc.?
Yes, it's marketing, media, and public relations.
Fantastic. And what's your sort of secret to success in media, marketing, and public relations?
You know what? It's really being able to listen to the client. It's really being innovative, being up to date on what's happening in the world and the way that our technology is really driven. And it's coming up with really great ideas. But I think the most important thing is really just understanding what the client's needs are and being able to approach those needs systematically, but also very strategically. So that's what I teach all of my students, is how to be creative, how to think outside of the norm of what people normally see, and being able to really express themselves in a very unique way that stands out from the rest.
And you teach this where?
So currently I'm teaching at Seneca and Sheridan, but I've also taught at Humber, I've taught at Georgian, so I kind of make my way. Wherever they need me, I'm there to help.
And do you think media and marketing have changed a lot in the last couple of years with pandemic and far more digital influence in our lives?
Well, I mean, social media is king, right? So, I mean, content is king, and social media right now is what's driving everything. And it's interesting because when I worked, in broadcasting and when I was in advertising, even in print, when the digital world started to come out with social media, it wasn't measurable. You couldn't measure results on social media at the time. And so a lot of advertisers and clients were nervous. They didn't want to put their money in there. And to see now, and it hasn't been that many years, we're talking like 4 years later, and now everybody's on digital and social media. So there really is a power to it, but it's being able to utilize that power effectively.
Right.
And I think that's where you kind of stand out, is it's so saturated and so many people are into this, the digital world and social media. It's like, how do you get your brand to stand out amongst the rest? So what I do is I work with clients to be able to do that. So how can you be innovative? How can you stand out from all of the other brands that are doing the exact same thing that you are, but now you're going to be able to be memorable. You're going to be able to have people go to your website to buy your product. So I work with clients individually in terms of strategically being able to meet those objectives in a very creative way.
And then you got very involved in fashion.
I did.
Is that the same, that you want to be memorable, you want to stand out, you want to be unique? Or is like fashion that we're all wearing the same t-shirts and jeans?
Well, listen, I mean, fashion's always been something I've loved. Like, I loved fashion since I was in high school. That's where my love of fashion began. And it's always been a part of my life. And when I was the regional director of Fashion Group International, you know, I loved it because it was being able to take everything that I loved and giving back to our community. So our members, we had 250 members, all that were business owners, and it was being able to come up with really innovative programs and initiatives every single month that would be able to help their businesses. So whether it was bringing on guest panelists that would help them learn something new, whether it was getting them to sit at a table with their mentor that they've always looked up to but would never have access to, being able to bring amazing, you know, programs and initiatives, such as we had Rebecca Minkoff, who did a whole speaking engagement about her new book and talking about the trials and tribulations of the fashion industry. And as you know, Brian, like the last 2 years have been really hard on that industry. So to be able to give back to the fashion community in a very powerful way, but also to help them kind of survive and thrive through the pandemic was really key. And we were really lucky because, you know, I mean, my entire term was during a pandemic, of course. I'm like going down in history as the only regional director who did a term during a pandemic. But the nice thing is, you know, at the end of it, we actually got recognized with a Merit Award of Excellence for our full year of programming that we did.
Awesome.
Out of 26 chapters. So the Toronto chapter won, which was a really great achievement. So
you got to tell me, why does anyone want 427 different pairs of shoes?
Well, there's 365 days a year, and then sometimes you have to do a shoe change. You know, if you go from work to yes, I've got my. You know what? I love my shoes. It's
why so many different shoes?
It's an expression of my personality.
Do you have 423 different outfits too?
I have a lot of clothes too, but you know, for me, it's like I love shoes because they really complete an outfit. And for me, it's either I'll start with my shoes and my shoes will be my inspiration for my outfit, or it'll be the final piece of my outfit. And it's part of my personality. So you can tell by the shoe that I'm wearing whether I'm being casual today, if I'm being playful, if, you know, there's a sexy pair of stilettos. And I think a lot of it is a part of your expression. And so, and I don't have any duplicates. Like every single pair in my closet is a unique pair. And a lot of them are collectibles, like they're really unique. Like I have one that's like a flamingo, so the entire heel is actually like a flamingo. So it's things like that that are just really playful and fun and creative. So it's a little bit of my personality.
There was a line about keeping your heels, something else, and your standards high. I'm not
yes.
sure. What was that line?
Yes, it's keeping your standards as high as your heels.
Keeping your standards as high as your heels. So
Yeah.
you believe in, obviously, not just shoes, but shoes with heels.
I do not do anything less than a 5-inch heel. For me, it's
5-inch heel.
Yeah, so I'm not that tall, so I need a 5 or 6 inch heels. But yeah, I mean, your standards should be, you know, just as high as your heels that you wear. So.
If people want to follow you on Instagram or something like that,
Yeah.
is that something they should do to check out your shoe portfolio and some of the other stuff you're up to?
Yeah, so I have two Instagram handles. So my Klaudia Fashion Fix is my one that's all about my career and things that I'm doing. So you'll see my shoes, you'll see some of the projects that I'm working on, some of the amazing, you know, things that I've published in magazines. And then I have another one that's called The Styling Pro, which is just my portfolio of all my styling.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break for some messages and come back in just 2 minutes with Klaudia again, Klaudia Zinaty, to talk a little bit more about this women's empowerment program that she's launched. Stay with us, everybody.
My dad was an auto worker. Mom cleaned schools at night. I learned about hard work from them. They taught me when something's broken, we roll up our sleeves and fix it.
It's why I fought for workers, for families, ever since.
I'll work to fix healthcare instead of cutting it, fix seniors' care instead of neglecting it, and bring down the costs families face every day.
I'm Andrea Horvath. I'm running for Premier to work for you.
Welcome to Lakeshore Towers, a smart and green architectural marvel. Lakeshore Towers is Pakistan's first ultra-luxury condominium complex.
For details, call 416-716-6888.
ओंटारियो में हर साल हैंडगन से होने वाले कत्ल बढ़ रहे हैं। इस दौरान फोर्ट कंजर्वेटिव्स ने हैंडगन्स पे पाबंदी लगाने की सारी कोशिशों में रुकावटें डाली हैं और ओंटारियो लिबरल सरकार हैंडगन्स बेचने, अपने पास रखने, उनकी ट्रांसपोर्ट और स्टोरेज पे पाबंदी लगाएगी। ये हमारा प्लान है। इंतखाब आपका है। ज्यादा हैंडगन्स या महफूज कम्युनिटीज।
Hello, I'm Nina Tangri, your PC candidate from Mississauga Streetsville. Under the leadership of Doug Ford, the Ontario PC Party will get it done. We're building a new Mississauga hospital with 350 new beds, and we're building and upgrading long-term care beds. We're supporting skilled trade workers and immigrants, and we're building Highway 413 to save you time and money. On June 2nd, vote for me, Nina Tangri, because only a PC government will get it done.
Hi, I'm Aman Gill, the Ontario Liberal candidate for the riding of Mississauga Malton. I've recently completed my law and MBA degrees from the University of Toronto. An Ontario Liberal government will make life more affordable for you and your family by slashing public transit fares to $1 a ride and by removing HST from prepared food under $20. So, for the upcoming provincial elections on June 2nd, please go vote. Vote Liberal. The choice is yours.
Authorized by the CFO of Aman Gill's campaign.
Hi, my name's Imran Mia. I'm a proud first-generation Canadian looking to inspire positive change as the next member of Provincial Parliament for Mississauga, Erin Mills. I am a dedicated father, devoted husband, and a strong community advocate. With over 20 years of business and leadership experience, I understand the challenges and the opportunities facing our community. As your MPP, I'll focus on creating more affordable housing, improving our publicly funded healthcare and education systems, empowering our seniors to live independently, and fighting the effects of climate change. I am ready to listen to your concerns and fight on your behalf for a better, greener, and more affordable future for all Ontarians.
Hello friends and neighbors, this is Khalid Rashid, your Ontario PC candidate for Mississauga East Cooksville. I'm running for re-election under the leadership of Doug Ford to continue to build Ontario's economy, to continue working for workers, to build highways and key infrastructure, to continue to keep costs down, and continue to plan to stay open. Together, we will continue to create a more prosperous future for Ontarians and the hardworking people of Mississauga East Cooksville. I hope I can continue to count on your support.
Hi, I'm Samira Ali. I'm running to be your MPP in Milton. Our voices are going unheard. We need to stand up for our schools, our teachers, our communities, our seniors, our frontline workers, our small businesses, our families, and our children. Stand up with me. Stand up for Milton.
Welcome back to the Brian Crombie Show on Canada One TV. We're chatting tonight with Klaudia Zinaty. She is a fashion expert, a media marketing and public relations instructor at different colleges, and very capable in that area. And she's just launching something called the Women Empowerment Awards. The Women Empowerment Awards is a movement, she says, and a platform for women to share their stories and experiences, to have their voices heard, to promote and motivate other women. We want to celebrate the women leaders and entrepreneurs who have made an outstanding impact in our society and have empowered others to do the same. Fantastic. How did you come up with this vision to launch these award programs?
You know what, it's something that I've always believed in, you know, women helping other women. I've always been a true believer of we rise by lifting others. So it's something that my partner and we co-founded together, and we strongly believed in an opportunity to be able to give women a platform. And there's really nothing like it. Like, there's a lot of, you know, women in leadership, women in business, but there's nothing about women empowering women. And so this is a great platform to be able to do that. And especially if you take a look at the statistics, Brian, like over the last 2 years, especially with the pandemic being hit, the job losses of women was over 70%. It was like 72% of women lost their jobs. And because of, you know, with the pandemic being hit and all the businesses shutting down. And in addition to that, the women that were employed were the ones that were working like 18-hour shifts on the front lines. So when you take a look at, you know, the impact that women have had, our population, 19 million women and girls in Canada, of which 50% of the population. And you also take a look at the numbers of small business owners, which are 38% of them. And when you take a look at salaries and wages, women make 76.8 cents on the dollar of every man. So it's really interesting to be able to see these statistics and these staggering statistics, in addition to what's happened over the last 2 years, that this is a movement. That's why we call it a movement and a platform, because it allows women to be recognized for their hard work and achievements. And it's not just in the fashion world, it's in every single industry, facets of every industry. And it allows women to nominate other women.
How does one get nominated?
So you can either nominate yourself, or you can nominate a woman that has inspired you or empowered you within your field. And you go onto our website, so it's woea.ca/awards, and there's 10 different categories, and you can choose whichever category fits that person or yourself.
What are the categories?
So we have everything from Businesswoman of the Year, we have Global Impact Innovator, we have an amazing BIPOC Entrepreneur of the Year award, which actually has a prize with Mentella Corporation, which is one of our sponsors, who's giving a $10,000 monetary prize to that winner. We have a Rising Star, which is 14 to 21. So we've got Innovator Awards. We've got 10 different...
And is this across Canada or just Toronto or what?
This is all across Canada. So women can nominate anywhere from Vancouver to Quebec to PEI.
And is it going to be a big gala or a TV show or what?
Yes. So in September 21st, it's going to be at the Shangri-La. We're going to do a gala evening. We've got some amazing, powerful women that are going to be behind it, that have been supporting it all along, which is amazing. We've got Suzanne Rogers, Sylvia Mentella, which are incredibly powerful women. We've got Hull Renfrew as well as one of our sponsors. And so it's going to be, if you can imagine, a room of 250 empowering and inspiring women all in one evening to be recognized for their achievements. And, you know, it's going to be a really fun night.
So I've been the MC at 2 different award ceremonies for females that sound pretty comparable to that. Are there too many of these types of programs, or, you know, you think there's a need?
I don't think there's ever too many, to be honest with you. I really don't. And I think what makes us stand out from the rest is the fact that, you know, we're not just on leadership, or we're not just on business. It's really just women empowering women. And it's everything from mental health, it's community outreach, it's, you know, diversity, inclusivity, equality, it's, you know, it's a global impact, it's being innovative, it's a young entrepreneur who's 14 or 15 years old that started her own business and has done very successful. So it's really just being able to celebrate all of these women all in one night under one roof. And we're really excited about it. And the other thing too is that it's not just an awards, you know, it's a movement.
Does it cost money to be nominated?
No, it's free to nominate, and the ones that are the finalists are attend for free, so they get a lovely, you know, dinner and gala, and the nice thing is it's an opportunity for everybody to network. So not only do you get recognized and acknowledged for your achievements, but also it's an opportunity to be able to mingle with a room full of amazing, inspiring women.
Right, fantastic, excellent. And remind us the website again?
So it's woea.ca.
woea.ca.
So it's Women of Empowerment Awards is what the WOEA.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Thank you.
And so after this, what's next?
Oh gosh.
You've done media, you've done marketing, you've done public relations, you've done fashion, you've done women's empowerment.
Yes.
What's next?
You know what? I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, for me, it's always looking out for great opportunities, and this one here is my baby. You know, it's something that my partner and I have worked really hard on. And like I said, I mean, it's not just the awards. It's going to be something that is going to evolve into a networking opportunity, a membership. It's going to be a community where people can go there and, you know, be able to get financial advice, be able to get access to different types of sectors, to be able to meet different people and learn new things. So we're really hoping to be able to grow this into a much bigger project.
Well, good luck. Awesome.
Thank
Come
you.
back and tell us about it.
I will, for sure.
So what, are you going to buy a new dress and a new pair of shoes?
Oh, I've already got it. I've already got it. It's already in the closet, ready to go. Yes, absolutely.
Klaudia Zinaty, Women, WOEM.
WOEA.
WOEA.ca.
Women Empowerment Awards.
Check it out. That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us. And I think, you know, Klaudia is right that women have suffered disproportionately during the pandemic, and we've all heard the statistics where not only have they, you know, had to work from home, but they had to do the primary amount of the childcare, or the teaching, replace what the teachers were doing, and the housework, etc. And so I think that it has been challenging, and I think that this is a great opportunity to empower women. And
Absolutely.
so thank you, Klaudia Zinaty, for doing so. That's our show for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everybody.